What's going on, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to Olsen Auto. Now today, it's been a little while since I've made one of these, more of a traditional sort of vlog type deal. So I got to start with the video with some boring stuff. Working on the merchandise release as we speak. Going to get a check from the bank right now because I've never had a need for checks. It's the 21st century. So gotta go grab those. That's how the manufacturer of the hoodies is accepting payment, so gotta go do that. Hopefully the merchandise will be out in a few weeks. I'm not sure completely on the time frame, still working through that, but the website will be live a day before, so yeah, you'll see how that works. It'll be live a day before, but there'll be nothing on it. That's just to make sure that the website actually works, the domain works, all that stuff. But if you guys want to pick up some merchandise, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. I want to get an idea of how many people are ordering. I already know there's probably 30 to 40 pre-orders depending on who actually decides to buy them, so that's pretty sweet. If you guys are going to pick one up, be sure to comment down below. Picture on screen now of what that's going to look like. I love the design. Worked with a local designer and then modified it a little bit myself. So that came out great, but let's go get a cold start on my 1990 Prelude because my Accord has no gas or oil. That's a bad combo. That is my 1990 Honda Prelude with the full 2.5-inch pace setter exhaust. Now hopefully we'll be doing some exhaust modifications to this car very, very soon. I want to add, well, you'll see, but it's going to be pretty sweet. I have some big plans for this car, so soon a body kit, exhaust mods, hopefully fix the timing on it. That's always been off, but let's go ahead, let's make a dumb, boring bank run, and then we're probably going to work on the XL a bit because it's about to take some big strides forward today. So after the trip to the bank is now over, gonna go ahead, gonna run the check up, officially pay for the merchandise so you can get that rolling for you guys. That'll be coming out very, very soon. This is a pretty big moment. So I just dropped off the check for the merchandise, which is a huge, huge step forward for the channel. Now we are gonna go work on the XL, but I do have to film a few clips for another video that already went up, so you guys have already seen it, but gotta go film a few clips for that, and then we're gonna work on the XL, see if we can't get some work done. So I just finished up filming those clips for the other video that, again, you guys already saw. It's about the portable tire inflator. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check out my channel. You guys can check it out. I actually like the product. They sent it out for review for free, and I liked it, but let's snow drift the DRZ while we have it out, and then we'll get working on the XL. My dad texted me and said that better not be my lawn. Let's agree to not tell him that it was the lawn. I got water all over the camera, I can see that. That was pretty fun. I'm in trouble. Uh-oh. So the first thing on today's agenda for the Project XL. Now this is where we stand, guys. Just like the last video, swing arms, suspension on the rear. Still haven't touched the front end yet. The front end is going to be a huge project, and I'm still working on the rear end. Not gonna start disassembling the whole front piece right here. We'll call this the front half. Not gonna start disassembling and working on that until the rear is done, which right now is just the rear wheel bearings, the rear brakes, and then just putting it back together. Now that's a pretty sweet thought. Get the seat on, could get most of the bike back together, carbs in. I still have to order new rear brake bits and front brake bits, chain sliders. A few parts left that I have to order, so I gotta do that. But I need money to do that, so yeah. Anyway, we're using the Harbor Freight Central Machinery 20-ton shop press to try and get this wheel bearing out. Now normally what you would do is you'd get heat up the hub. My hair's a mess from that helmet. Normally you would get heat up the hub and bang it out. That wasn't working. This bearing is super, super stuck, so we're gonna try and press it out. I've tried this before and it moved a little bit, so hopefully we broke it free, and it should. He's riding in the snow. Respect. Anyway, we're gonna try and see if we can get this bearing out. Now of course I want to make sure it's actually pressing on the bearing, so I'm going to take a peek in there, make sure it's actually on the bearing and not warping the crap out of my wheel. Now my first reaction was, oh my god, I'm f***ing dead. Second reaction is I broke the wheel. Third reaction is maybe I didn't. Maybe I broke the press. When I tell you, I flipped it upside down, I flipped the wheel upside down, I tried pressing the thing the other way just to move it a little bit, you know, kind of work it like you do with a stuck bolt. My heart is racing. I'm just pushing, I'm like, whatever. If it's gonna break, it's gonna break. The bearing's not gonna come out regardless. And all of a sudden, it sounds like a gunshot, and the bearing literally shoots out of the bottom of the press. It doesn't look like it broke the wheel. I'm gonna put the camera down. Oh my god, the fucking socket is stuck in the wheel. The socket is stuck in the wheel. I had a socket on extension that the press was pushing on, and now it's stuck in the wheel. That's funny. So somehow, if we go over here, the wheel didn't break. The socket broke, but the bearing is, for the most part, out. It came with this fun little spacer. I don't quite know what that is. The wheel came with it, and it somehow came out. It sounded like a gunshot, so amazingly, the wheel is in good shape. It doesn't look broken. Everything looks all right to me. Gonna go ahead, going to get that spacer separated from the bearing, and then pop the new one in. Can't put it on because we don't have the drum brake stuff, but hopefully this rear wheel will be pretty much complete. So this kit comes with 2 small bearings like this, and 1 big bearing like this. As you can see, size difference. The spacer goes in this one. Right now I put the little, this tube goes right in there. Gonna punch the small one in, and then hopefully punch this bigger one in on the other side, and then put the seal in. Now the kit came with 3 bearings. I honestly have no clue where the other one goes, so whatever. Alright, so using this hammer, I'm sure that's good for the spokes, this punch, this block of wood, the old bearings, able to punch these new ones in. Now I gotta put the final touch. Also, you know it's a good part when it comes to the sticker that says get some balls. Go ahead, put the seal in. Man. So I was originally going to continue this video tomorrow working on the XL. I went out and went to go hang out with my friend, and now we're compression testing the Prelude. So about 180, 0, about 175, about 175. This is the problem. So we're gonna pop the valve cover off. It's dark, it's outside in the ice, gonna pop the valve cover off. Every single time I hang out with this kid, my car blows up. That's really, that wasn't tight.
Got it?
Yeah. So this is just a little blowgun with a rag to cover up that cylinder. It's right now at top dead center of the compression stroke. Very hard to hear, but you can hear the air coming out of the exhaust, so we're assuming the exhaust valve is bent, burnt, not sitting, something like that. So now I'm gonna go get Burger King because I don't feel like pulling the head tonight. So it's the next day. Of course, we noticed there was some blow by from the exhaust valve. Now this was gonna be an XL video, but it looks like we're gonna be head swapping the Prelude. What I'm gonna do right now, since we're pretty sure it's the exhaust valve, I'm gonna grab my spare head and I'm gonna start checking it, run some ATF through it to make sure it's not leaking anywhere. Check it over for cracks really well. Again, it's sitting in a storage unit thing that we have, so gotta go ahead, grab that, make sure it's all good. And I'm gonna double check, make sure none of the rockers are like obviously cracked or anything, because at the top of the compression stroke, shoving some air into the cylinder is getting through the exhaust valve. You could hear it coming out the exhaust. So we're gonna go ahead, we're going to test it out, make sure that theory still holds true. It's a little cold out, but it is getting warmer. I mean, it's still snowy, but I can work with this. Yeah, let's just get this head, get the head out, inspect it, and make sure that's the problem here before we go ahead and pull the head. But given there's no compression, it's got to be at least in the head, if not deeper. So I took out the old KTM just so I could get access to the head that's in the garage thing, box thing. I realized it was leaning against my track bike, my CBR 600. It warped the front fender a little bit, and I'm so pissed off because this is a brand new plastics kit. It's like, obviously it's not going to do anything to affect the performance of this bike. It's just really annoying. Because as you guys can see, that's how it's supposed to be. It's just annoying. Anyway, the head, all the old Accord parts. The head is under there. I'm gonna try to sneak it past this CBR, hopefully. Because this is the F3, this is the parts bike, and then this is the track bike. Still have yet to order a new ignition for this. Haven't made a video on that bike in a while, but I hopefully will be soon. But let's stop talking. Let's go ahead, let's get this out because we got work to do. Alright, so I got that new head out. Well, new head. Now, a little background behind the head of this engine. I originally pulled the engine out because I thought I totally destroyed this engine that's in the Prelude right now, and I had my parts car, so I pulled the other motor out, I refreshed it, made it look all pretty, and I was getting in the process of rebuilding it. And when I went to start reassembly, I said, oh, let me take the trans off my motor, make sure everything's good in there. And then that's when I found out it was just the flywheel that went bad and kind of fell off rather than the actual bottom end grenading. So I just retorqued the flywheel, put some Loctite on it, called it good, and sent it. Never actually ended up using that extra motor, but it looks like today is going to be the day. Now, I did try, when I was working on rebuilding it, to hold down the cam using the little pin. You guys can see right here, there's a little hole right in this cam cap. Now, basically, you put like a punch in that hole, and it holds the cam still so that you can actually loosen the nut on the end, take the gear off, and replace the cam seals. The problem with that was this one actually broke. It's supposed to look like that. Looks like that. That cam cap snapped clean in half, shot the piece apart. So not sure how I'm gonna replace the seals on these cams. Probably just gonna use the air gun and really make sure I can hold these cams still. And then hopefully with that method I'll be able to replace the seals, put the seals I have on those cams in here, because one of those cams is a little iffy. Had to get it remachined, and I'd like to just have these cams matching this head. You know, it's all worn together. So when I got this car, it supposedly had a blown head gasket, the parts car with the head I'm looking at. Never looked at the head gasket, just pulled the head off and disassembled the motor. So hopefully what we can do now is just quickly check this, not quickly, but you know what I mean, do a quick little check on the head, make sure it's all set, and then take that head off, swap over some parts. I'm not sure, I think I'm gonna have to put some exhaust studs in the new head. I think one or two of them came out with the nut, which isn't a big deal at all. I know where I can get new studs, so not too concerned with that. Last night I actually put Stop and Shop brand oil in my car, for those of you that saw on Snapchat, so if the Accord blows up while getting those exhaust studs, we know why. So working on getting a bunch of stuff off, cap from the distributor, a bunch of the vacuum hoses, got to do the power steering pump, drain the coolant, because obviously the head has coolant in it, bunch of other stuff. So right now working on trying to get some of these belts off. That bolt is now being a total pain and it's rounded. You guys can see that's some asshole design right there to shove it in there. I'm gonna work on draining out the coolant real quick because it's just one little thing. Unscrew it, take off the top cap, drain the coolant, and then take off the hose at the thermostat. And then hopefully we can get that bolt out and replace it because it's being a pain. So the coolant is drained, got the power steering pump off just so we can get that belt out of the way. Now I'm going to take the exhaust off and the downpipe from the manifold to downpipe and unbolt that. Should be 4 bolts, but I need something to lay on because it's winter and it's wet out and I'm not going to lay down on the ground like that. So this is all set. This is what we're looking at. That's off, so exhaust, and then possibly timing belt. We have a little trick for that that'll show you. Probably not the right way, but when I've ever done anything right. And then, yeah, just keep chipping away. We're getting closer. So I used this 14 mil right here on a big 1/2-inch breaker bar that's sitting right out of camera. And I broke all the head bolts free. Now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take them all off. And then I'm actually going to try to lift the head with like the full intake manifold, the exhaust manifold, all of these things still attached, because it means if it is a simple head swap, then I'm just going to take that stuff off when it's on the bench. If I can go really easy and just replace a single valve, then what's the point in taking all of that off when I can pull it all off together? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that. Plus taking all that off is like an extra couple hours of work. It's getting dark and cold out, so I'm going to go ahead, take those head studs out, or head bolts, pop the head off. Alright, so this is how we took the head off. Literally the whole intake and exhaust manifold, held it all together. Also, these all come off, so turbo, question mark? Anyway, luckily the head gasket will come off easy. Can't complain there. A little bit of cleaning, but there's your issue. I'll have myself in the future zoom in on screen. Big old hole in the valve, so not sure where the other piece went. We're gonna say it went out the exhaust. Gonna finish this up tomorrow. I'm gonna wrap this video up here, guys. If you liked me blowing up my car for the 3rd time on this channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll probably do it again. Be sure to like and comment down below. Comment how stupid I am for doing it again, but if you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.